What is going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it's time to talk about Dragon Ball Super Episode 88. This is probably going to be a pretty long one, because there is a ton to talk about in this episode. Just an absolute fuck ton of shit to talk about in this episode. Starting off with the Kaba scene, we'll go into that right away, because that was pretty cool hype. Kaba's flying around in his ship, and he goes to this planet, and he meets up with this guy, and he's a Saiyan from Universe 6, which is pretty cool to see, and he's a former commander of Kaba, and he says, we want you to, I want you to join the team, because, even if you can't fight at full power, because your leg's messed up, you could still have good strategies. So I like that Universe 6 is considering strategy as well, just like Universe 7. It makes sense, since they're a paired universe. Not that they'd have the exact same mindsets, but you know what I mean. He says that he doesn't want to participate, that he's retired, he's done, his leg's fucked up, but his sister, and I believe his sister's name was Khalifa, we finally see what seems to be the female Broly. Now, I do have some shit to say about this. I like that she doesn't seem to be just Broly, you know what I mean? Like, because Broly was like this passive, sort of beta male, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, he's like this fucking passive, like, kind of guy, and then he hulks out and he goes into Broly mode. That looked like what we might have gotten with the female Broly. Based on what we saw of her, she seemed kind of shy, kind of timid, then she hulks out. Now, there wasn't much to go on, obviously, but that was the case, at least at that point. Now we see her, and we have the magazine release that we had before, when Toriyama drew her, and it's like a complete 180. Her hair is crazy, she's kind of just sitting there eating meat like she's fucking Luffy from One Piece or Goku. Like a Saiyan, actually, now that I think about it. And he says, yeah, she seems like a simple punk, but she's actually really strong. That's interesting. I'm really curious what happened there and why she seems so different when she was revealed versus how she is now. It is a little concerning for the writing quality of the arc, because overall the arc has been written relatively okay in my opinion. But it is weird that... Shut up, phone. But it is weird that we had a last-minute change with Jiren and Toppo in the Zen exhibition match, and then Gohan in the opening is meditating to unlock his ultimate form, and then in the actual episode he powers up to unlock it, which is kind of weird. And I prefer the meditation, honestly, but that's more of a nitpick. And I'll get to all that in the training in a second. And now we have a different character design, and seemingly a different personality for the female Broly, the Khalifa, I guess her name, or Cauliflower, that's what it's based on, but yeah, Khalifa, I'm going to call her that for now. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about the writing quality of this arc, honestly. I really hope they aren't rushing that part of it. I mean, it's not an arc that needs crazy, complicated plot stuff. It is a tournament. It is going to be a big fight. And the writing has been probably the best Dragon Ball Super's had for a while, because Future Trunks arc, even if the time travel stuff makes sense, kind of confusing, certain things not explained, like Super Saiyan Rose and time rings, like properly explained, I mean. A lot of that stuff, it's been a little more simplistic, but a little better written at the same time. Especially this episode. The writing quality between Piccolo and Gohan was top-notch for Dragon Ball, in my opinion. It was really cool. Everything Piccolo was saying to Gohan was very important to his combat development, and I thought that was really fucking cool. In fact, let's just segue into that. I pretty much said everything I had to say about the writing process and female Broly. Cool to see her hype and all that, but the meat of this episode, Gohan and Piccolo training. First of all, cool callback with the dinosaur tail and just the dinosaur in general and eating his tail. Like, all that was really cool. I say all that, it was like 2 scenes, but still, it was a nice little callback, which was subtle. As for the rest of the fighting, I liked it. The animation wasn't spectacular in every moment. Higashide definitely worked on this episode. It wasn't like his absolute best, but it was a well-animated episode for the most part. I liked the Krillin and 18 sparring that we got. It's cool to see 18 in the jumpsuit now, so that's cool. Not jumpsuit, she's in like the exercise outfit, so... I just thought of something, because she's in, like, the exercise outfit from the poster and everything, but, if they're last-minute changing designs, I wonder if it is going to be Skinny Boo instead of Fat Boo, because he's Fat Boo in all the promo stuff, but, Gohan was in his green outfit when he got the ultimate mode in the opening, and he was meditating, and now they changed the female Broly design. I wonder if it will be Skinny Boo, and that was like another last-minute change. I guess we'll have to wait and see. That's just a total fucking digression. Where was I at? Oh yeah, Piccolo and Gohan training. The episode itself, Animation-wise was cool. I liked the fight choreography. Wasn't a spectacular-looking episode, but it was good enough. The art in this episode was really nice, though. There's some really good shots of Gohan as a Super Saiyan, as a Super Saiyan 2. Really cool shot, like where he's got his hand, water is like running off of it from the rain. Really cool artwork, really cool storyboarding in this episode. I thought it looked great. They got some really good storyboard artists working on Dragon Ball lately, or maybe they've already been working on the series, but now they can actually direct their own episodes for the most part, and they can also have a little bit more time, just a little bit more time to work on their storyboards. But yeah, it's really working out nicely. But in this episode, we got Piccolo calling out Gohan on his arrogance during the fight with Boo, calling him out on like his hesitancy to fight, calling him out on letting his guard down. A lot of the stuff Piccolo says in this episode hits hard with Gohan, and he gives him that tough love that I think really, really works. And I love that everything Piccolo says to Gohan in this episode has weight to it, from saying that he's arrogant, to letting his guard down, to his, hesitancy to actually fight. Everything he says to Gohan has punch to it. Gohan reflects on everything that Piccolo is saying to him, and the art complements this very nicely, and you really feel it in this episode. It works really well. Their relationship is really solid. He really is a cool uncle figure to Gohan. Not a father figure. I'm not... Shut the fuck up if you're going to bring that shit to the table, but as like an uncle to Gohan, someone who can be a little tougher on him than his actual dad. It's a really cool relationship that they have. He is the perfect person to train Piccolo, or to train Gohan. Because I've seen people say, like, why doesn't Gohan go to Whis? Why doesn't Gohan go to his dad? Or why didn't he go to this person, that person? Mental training. One of the biggest things with Gohan, since Super started, is his mental state, and his rustiness and his experience and all that stuff have been the big factor. Not necessarily his power, though that is weaker, I guess. I mean, in the Resurrection F arc, he seemed pretty much stronger. He was pretty much stronger than he was in the Buu Saga. I mean, that was undeniable. He beat fucking Tagoma, said the dude was stronger than him in his prime. I can't fucking talk today, I guess, but you know what I'm talking about. In the Resurrection F arc, Tagoma was fucking up Piccolo, then Gohan went Super Saiyan, beat him with Ginyu in his body, and that was even stronger than the original Tagoma, and Gohan like two-shotted him. But apparently now he's like on Piccolo's level. I mean, Piccolo could have been training more than him, of course. But yeah, I don't know, that Gohan's power level seems a bit inconsistent here. He seems like he's way weaker now than he was in the Resurrection F arc, even though he started training after the Resurrection F arc. Not consistently, but every once in a while in his spare time. So yeah, that's weird. I mean, he's mastered Super Saiyan better than before. He can go in and out of it a lot easier. So I don't know, it's a little weird. Either way, though, it's been a mental thing, and that's why Piccolo is the perfect person to train Gohan. He can get him to go past previous limitations. He can get him to think about the things that he's saying. Piccolo was awesome in this episode. That's the point I'm trying to make, is he was really fucking cool in this episode. The fighting was really cool. The storyboarding and art direction was really, really good. I believe this episode was Hiroyuki Itai. He also did the Toppo vs. Goku episode, or at least he was one of the supervisors on that episode. And yeah, I'm liking him more and more. I'm not a huge fan of his base art style, but this episode looked damn good. So yeah, he's proven to be a really cool supervisor so far. It sucks that Yuichi Karasawa seems to be gone from Super, but, I mean, he's been gone for months. There's no way he's been working on an episode for like 4 months. I'm pretty sure he's just gone. So, even though I don't think Itai is as good as Kurosawa, it's nice to see that really talented people are taking the place of other talented people if, some of these supervisors are going to leave. And he's not a supervisor, but as long as Futoshi Kishide stays an animator on Super, we're going to be pretty good on action animation for a while. I don't see anything bad happening there as long as he's working on the series. It just kind of sucks that he is like literally the glue holding together the action in this show, because without him the action will tank. He animates a ton of it on a ton of episodes, but I'm not trying to talk about doom and gloom for Dragon Ball Super's production. It seems to be better than it used to be, and hopefully they're going to have relatively smooth sailing going forward. I mean, as smooth as Japanese animation can be in that industry. And I've been holding out on it long enough. He gets his ultimate form back. I mentioned it a little bit when I was talking about the production stuff and like the writing and everything and how it differs from how the opening depicted it. But yes, he does get his ultimate form back. He breaks through the Super Saiyan forms, he breaks through those limiters, and now it's all out in the open again. He's got his full power with no need to transform into a Super Saiyan. It's all there. I preferred the meditation, I'm not going to lie. The meditation that the opening was showing seemed a lot cooler than just powering up like it's a transformation, but whatever, he looks like a badass again. He's got the little hair down. I don't know if it's going to stay that way, because again, in the opening, his hair is all the way spiked up. So I don't know if he's going to comb it up, or again, if there's slight design changes because of this weird writing process and shit they're going through, but whatever. The point is, he has it again. The transformation was awesome. The clouds split apart. Super cool. And he's got the power. He blocks Piccolo and takes off his arm. Like, he is up there now. And if he was stronger than he used to be in the Resurrection F arc, that means he might have a higher potential than he had before. Now that his potential's been re-unlocked, he could be even stronger than he used to be. Like, if he went toe-to-toe with Goku right now, I could see Goku having to go blue. Holding back, but still having to go blue, because Gohan was already above Super Saiyan 3 Goku back in the day. So, at this point, he's got to be above current Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I would imagine. Unless the whole weird, like, Goku is base is like Super Saiyan Red or God, you know what I mean? I don't know how that works exactly, because Goku still uses Super Saiyan 1 and 2 every once in a while, so I feel like he just has to tap into the God Ki to be as strong as Super Saiyan God. And if he's not doing that, then his base form is just, not weak, but, you know, base Goku. That is a long-standing issue with Dragon Ball Super in general, is even if the power scaling makes sense in certain situations, sometimes you have to go through mental gymnastics to figure out exactly what's happening, because it's not explained clearly or executed very clearly. Like, some of it's easy. Like, some of it's like, oh, you know, he was holding back against Krillin to test him. That was very obvious by what they were saying to each other and how the whole scene was executed. But then you have stuff like Android 17, where it's like, okay, well, he said he didn't intend to use blue, which means 17 must be at least above Super Saiyan 3, because blue is the next transformation above 3. 3's not enough to put 2 and 2 together. But then it's like, oh, but they're both holding back, so, you know, you gotta go through the gymnastics in your brain. But with something like Krillin, it's a lot more simple, so I wish they would at least explain the power scalings better. Especially since this episode makes Gohan seem weaker than he was in the Resurrection F arc, at least possibly. Unless he was saying that by his prime he meant when he was a kid, a Super Saiyan 2. Because technically, he was only, like, as strong as he was as Ultimate Gohan for, like, a day before he got absorbed. And not even a day, like a few hours. So maybe he was calling his prime back when he was a kid. But I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point, just talking Dragon Ball with you guys. But I'm going to give this episode an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I really loved the combat development that Gohan got in this episode. I really loved how he interacted with Piccolo. I liked the callbacks to their old training. It was really, really good. I fucking loved this episode. I wish the transformation maybe had been like a meditation thing instead of a power-up. That was a little weird. But the actual parting of the clouds and everything was really cool. Good episode, and that's pretty much it. Also, there's only 9 hours left until the actual fighting starts, so they trained for quite a while. I want to say the clock was at like 20 hours before, or like 24 hours or something like that, so they trained quite a bit. They put quite a few hours of just straight training into this. He didn't just get it in like 30 minutes, so that's definitely cool. And that's pretty much all I have to say. So what do you guys think of this episode of Dragon Ball Super? You can go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. Click that little bell to get notifications when my videos go up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.